If you want to go one step too far, you can start singing "Don't Cry for Me, Argentina."
Yeah. Okay.
Why?
Because Madonna did the movie, and then Madonna also wrote "Holiday." And
Ooh,
this episode's
that's
called
a big
Holiday.
link.
See what I meant?
Big
It was like 3 steps too far.
Only 3?
Who's Madonna?
Talking about 3 steps too far. I was listening to our Get Into Geek chat, 10 Cloverfield Lane. I don't know why I just skipped to it all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I wouldn't.
Because you've never listened to it before. Went to the most.
No, and then it was right at the part where we discovered Maddie's love for Roseanne.
Oh,
And
Was that episode?
Yeah, it was our third. It was our third ever recording together.
Yeah.
And Lincoln brought up, obviously, because Dan from Roseanne was in 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Yeah.
I thought it was a safe space.
I know. We just
because
we lulled him into such a false security.
because Maddie's like, oh yeah, Roseanne, and everyone's like, yeah, Roseanne, that was a good show.
Rhys is like, Darlene.
And Maddie's
like, 2 Beckys. And
then Maddie's like, I've got the box sets, and then it went silent, and I'm like, oh, we don't like it that much.
yeah. I go, you went a bit too far.
Good gear.
Oh, it was fucking great. I'd love to play it for the gate guys, because we got it. We had a shout out from someone saying, "Really, Roseanne?"
yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
F you. No, it's not for everybody. It just
It's hardly for anybody.
Rhys goes, "Hey, that was a great show." It's not enough.
my father's
You
American.
got ripped off, mate.
My father's American. He grew up in that part of the country, so it was something that we sort of had to watch as kids. So
We all watched it, mate.
Had to.
We didn't have to buy the DVD.
I just wanted to reinvestigate. All right. How did we get onto this?
Get Into Gate, this is episode 39. We are talking Stargate SG-1. My name is Mitch. Joining me, the full Get Into Gate team, Matty.
Holiday.
Quick, Brendan.
Oh, that was going to be mine.
Celebrate.
Rhys, what do you got?
Madonna. I don't know any other words from that song.
If we took a holiday,
it
it would be. Oh, that was off key. It would be so nice.
Nailed it.
Well, we decided to do
Jeez,
something
if only
different
the-
for Get Into Gate this week. We're going full musical, nothing but
This is a
Madonna.
musical episode.
If only the guy that cuts the audio for this show had thought to actually get a grab of
Yeah.
that song, eh?
An idiot.
Well, I
Nah,
never.
what a waste of time.
What a
When you got
nutty.
singers like us.
I don't see the word holiday and immediately go, Madonna. But I do start moving my shoulders, apparently, when I start
Yeah,
singing it.
that was
Oh,
odd. That was-
yeah. Well, if you don't know already, we're talking about the episode called Holiday of Stargate SG-1, Season 2, Episode 18. If you're new to Gates, there's a couple of big long-term fans here, myself, Brendan and Matty. Rhys is new to the show. He's watching it all for the first time. We're watching it with him and just sort of re-loving it, looking back on it, and letting Rhys just fall in love with Stargate like we have over the last 20 years. The show.
I'm
couple
already on
weeks
my
into
way
it.
to, like Stargate.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Ooh.
already.
Wow.
Already.
That's
Grade 2 gear.
getting serious.
Season 2 gear. Oh, boom.
That's where I was heading.
Yeah.
There's going to be some like over the shirt touching of Stargate soon.
Oh, yep,
Yeah.
definitely.
So as many of us and a lot of our listeners apparently are reliving this show is via the DVDs. Yes, DVDs still exist, children. They really do. And if you don't know what they are, ask your parents.
What is a DVD?
I'm moving house at the moment, and I was packing up all my DVD cabinet, and I realized I have 500 DVD cases.
What?
Now,
What? Is that including box sets?
yeah. So I have of the actual like the case you're holding there, Mitch. I have 500 of those. Some of them obviously have just a single disc in them, but
Yeah.
other ones have like 6 discs in
Yeah.
them. Yeah, 5. I filled 2 whole boxes.
I think you say 2 whole trucks.
And you'll
Wow.
never watch any of them again.
I rewatch them regularly. Like, Roseanne's in high rotation, obviously.
They're nearly worn out. Need to buy some more.
Those DVDs now they're just like they're like as thin as a tissue.
Yeah.
There's still some video on there. But we go to the back of the DVD case to see what synopsis it delivers to us. So this one, episode 18, Holiday. Jackson's body is swapped with that of an old Gould enemy named Marcello. As Jackson lies dying in the alien's aging body, O'Neill and Teal'c accidentally switch forms too. And unless the alien is captured, all three will be trapped in their new bodies forever.
Forever.
I mean, I feel like
Forever.
the winner out of that entire scenario has got to be Jack, doesn't it? I mean, if you've got Richard D. Denison's body and you get an upgrade to a Christopher Judge body,
With the symbiote.
symbiote or not, you got to be pretty bloody happy.
Yeah. I mean...
Would you have would you reckon they would have just gone to the toilet and took a little peek?
Absolutely.
You
they would.
definitely would, wouldn't
Jack
you?
he's going to see whether the rumours are real. You know?
Yeah,
Bet you far, obviously.
he's going to see
See how big this symbiote is.
he's going to check out that Primtar and just do a bit of kill no reaming.
Look, okay, let's save all that for a little bit later. No, it's. I mean, we go to the synopsis. That's one
You
really
can shell
spoils
kick his
it.
Nemron.
We've given hell to some of the synopsis over the last couple of episodes. That one really does go beat for beat, ruining the episode. If you are like you, Rhys,
Yeah.
watching this for the first time your holiday, I'll just have a quick squeeze at what it's about. Oh, okay. There's every twist and turn ruined for me.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because I find watching it again, today, myself, a long-term fan, watch this episode, and he goes, "Oh, this is an old weapon. Yes, it could be used to kill the Gould." I'm like, "Oh yeah, what does this do again?"
Pretty good Marcello.
Thank you very much. Just call me Michael Shanks. And then it
Call
swaps.
you
I'm
what?
like, "Oh, that's it."
Shanksy.
Thanks
I
a
don't
lot.
think Rhys knows.
Oh yeah, you probably don't.
Did you? Yeah. Did you
Get
figure
ready
it out
for
at
your
all?
mind to be blown.
The old guy?
Marcello.
No way. No way.
That was Shanksy.
Shanksy.
Because
So,
I'm looking at that. I'm like, surely that's not a real old guy. Like,
Yeah, it looks
why?
weird.
But then why would they use makeup for an old man? Wouldn't they just get an old man?
Well,
That's
what it-
Michael Shanks.
Yep.
Yeah.
They
No way.
they were nominated for a Gemini Award for Best Achievement in Makeup for this
Really?
episode.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay, well done.
Yeah.
Because at the end credits, I'm reading it going, Michael Shanks as Marcello. Oh, that's probably because he spent half the episode as Marcello. Like,
Yeah.
with the homeless guy. I'm like, oh, that's
Yeah.
weird that they credit that, but okay, that's cool.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, okay.
No way.
Do you like want to go back to the opening credits and see it says Michael Shanks or see the other actor's name as Daniel Jackson or something?
Yeah.
Like
Because I thought
Yeah.
we spoilt that for you a few weeks ago. Because I mentioned Holiday with the whole the makeup and
Yeah, like I
Rhys
said,
wasn't
I don't
listening.
listen to
Rhys
what you
hasn't been
say.
paying attention, so it's
Except
okay.
you've re-listened to the podcast. That makes
Yeah.
no sense.
Yeah, even when I'm re-listening, I don't listen to what you say.
Oh wait, I'm coming
just
up.
like-
Coming up in this bit.
Oh, Brendan's talking. I'll sing Holiday in my head.
Rhys has developed an app which actually just mutes all of Brendan
Voice
for
recognition.
the entire episode.
Rhys, I immediately thought of you when I realised what this episode was going to be about, because you do love Teal'c and
Yeah.
how much fun Christopher Judge
Oh,
gets to
man.
have in this episode.
It was so weird seeing him with like
Right?
characterization on his face, and I'm like, he actually did a pretty good job
I-
at doing O'Neill.
I totally forgot about this part of the episode. Whenever I'm sort of looking back to rewatch stuff and I flick through a Holiday, oh yeah, that's Daniel Marcello, and I just skip past it or whatever. I always forget about the Jack Teal'c swap.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
that's the best
so
bit.
fun. And then even right at the end, when Christopher Judge has Marcello in him, and he has that really sort of articulate, sort of wispy sort of voice.
Yeah,
It really mimics it. I think he was the MVP for this episode, just in terms of performance.
yeah.
being
Don't
able
worry
to
about
nail-
Shanksy. Jesus.
Oh, we've come to expect
Well-
it from him.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
but he's playing himself. It's not like he's got to, it's not like he's got to study an old man and figure out his mannerisms and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
but not only has he swapped from an old man to Daniel Jackson, then he's got to realize what the old man would be like in Daniel Jackson's body, and then replicate the old man in the body as a new.
Oh, welcome to acting, mate.
Yeah, there you go. That's 101, mate.
Look at that! Look at that note I've got there.
I'll put it away, big fella.
Old guy
I got
or makeup.
all makeup.
And then at the end, I read the credits. I'm like, Shanksy?
Shanksy.
I'm like, nah.
Absolutely, it is.
He does a good job, eh?
That's awesome. 'Cause he obviously is very lifeless when he's the old man.
Yeah, and it might surprise you to know that Gary Jones, who plays Walter, is actually General Hammond with makeup.
No way. I've never seen them in the same room.
He's like Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. He killed the general long ago and just wearing his skin as a suit. So, spoiler
That's why
alert.
he's not in this season very much.
Now, I don't know if anybody noticed, but we talked about in Touchstone how like the climax of that could have been resolved if everybody was wearing Zats. Well,
Yeah.
cut to this
They should
episode.
have shot him with a Zat.
No, cut to this episode. Carter is now got a Zat strapped to her leg.
Oh,
When they
okay.
first arrive in Michello's place,
What's that doing there?
she's got a Zat strapped to her hip. Now instead of a gun.
Yeah, right.
So
Oh.
Jack's still got his pistol, but she's got a Zat there now. I guess because maybe that's what Joel and I wanted.
Joanna
Just-
told me.
Just honouring her heritage.
So how good was Fred?
Yeah, I liked Fred.
I love Fred.
I did like Fred. I tell you what,
Oh, that was
me
old,
though,
mate.
if he didn't think that Daniel was going to kill him by the end of it,
Yeah, but free meal, I'd be like, yeah, whatever, man. You got a credit card? Sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, how funny was
We'll
it?
feast on me.
Everyone will feast on me. He's just spent like $500 on
Yeah.
Jackson's credit card.
Hey,
Yeah,
actually,
minimum.
no, on that, when she says a credit card, where would I find this card? In your wallet. Does Daniel have a Velcro wallet?
Yes, he does.
He pulls out like a very normal adult male looking like leather wallet and I'm like, are you serious,
And
man?
that's how you know we're watching a sci-fi show that's complete fiction when the waitress still wants to sleep with him after
Yeah.
he pulls out a Velcro wallet.
I shall
Is that
kiss you.
chained to
Oh,
your
oh.
belt as well, buddy? What's
Yeah.
going on?
But what I love is, the many worlds theory, theorizes that no matter, there's infinite universes out there with every possible, scenario that's happened. So in my mind, there's a universe out there somewhere where that entire diner did feast on Daniel
Yeah.
Jackson.
Oh, I couldn't help myself but picture him with his shirt off and just eating cream sundaes off it.
Quick, before the fudge melts the ice cream.
Oh, by the
Oh,
way,
get the belly button on.
By the way, this takes me back to my pizza or cake thing from last season. There was not a single drop of ice cream in those ice cream sundaes. They were
Yeah, the fudge melted it, mate.
no, they were fudge and whipped cream because
Yeah.
obviously they would have had to have done multiple takes. But you see him eating it, trying to pretend it's ice cream, and it's clearly just Cool Whip. Like
Yeah.
that's all they're eating is
Whip.
Cool Whip.
Cool whip.
Cool Whip.
Say that again.
Cool Whip.
Oh, I just couldn't believe that. I was only half watching that scene. I just heard that Velcro noise. And I'm like, that is fantastic because that sound doesn't. You don't see Velcro. The guy in the soundboard's like,
Yeah.
Shanksy.
Yeah, like what male over the age of like 18 has a wallet that still has
Oh, even
Velcro
that's
on it?
generous, I reckon.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think
Your
it's.
first wallet has to be Velcro.
Oh,
has
shit,
to be.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's very Jackson-esque.
Oh, I know
Yeah,
it does.
obvious,
Yeah.
yeah.
social
definitely.
retard, absolutely.
No, well, I think we spoke about Chris Judge before, and you do watch that scene or those scenes, and I just look at Christopher Judge. I'm like, oh my god, he's doing such a good Richard Dean Anderson impersonation. But I actually overlook, which I don't think you should. He's underappreciated. Richard Dean Anderson, how well he does a Christopher Judge Steele.
Richard Dean Anderson's really underappreciated in this series.
Oh,
Off.
Jesus.
Mate.
Sorry, mate.
I'm sorry.
Don't make any more obvious points, you stupid.
But yeah,
God.
he is very subtle when he does tilts.
Yeah.
Like when he does the whole half turn the head and eyebrow raise.
Yeah.
That little thing, I'm like, oh, that's right there. That's
Not
right.
broken vibe. Cold Lazarus. It's pretty much just the Cold Lazarus performance.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Playing the
Phone that in.
cold, dead crystal version of himself.
No, but I love that when
Right.
he goes, Tilk, what are you doing? If I'm to remain in this body, I must shave my head.
Yeah.
He's like, what? Even looking back at that, I'm going, why does he shave his head, actually?
Yeah.
It's just a belief he has, I guess. Same
guess
way
so.
monks shave their
Well,
heads. He's still
gives
not,
up.
even though he's like forsaken his gods and all
Yeah.
that sort of stuff. There's still just certain things that are hardwired into him, and he's like,
Yeah.
yeah, got it. Maybe he's like, if I'm to remain a badass, I'm gonna shave my head.
We must go to the gym, O'Neill.
And then I love when O'Neill finally gets back into his body at the very end. The first thing he's just like, shave my head.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like still hasn't let it go. Like he's just been through like the entire room.
Yes.
that looked ad lib to me.
shave my head.
Yeah, because then
Wouldn't
how he
surprise
grabs
me.
him and he's just like, what do I
Yeah.
do now?
I'm pretty sure Richard Dean Anderson had free license to do whatever the hell he wanted.
Yeah.
Oh, and
That
rightfully
show.
so.
Absolutely.
Hang on, I'll just ask the executive producer. What do you think? Oh, thanks for asking, Richard. I'll take it from here.
So we learned that Tilk meditates
Yeah.
in his
Oh.
spare time
The
with
first
100
mention of,
candles.
The Kelno
Kelno
Ream.
Ream.
Yeah, Kelno Ream.
That's not a fire hazard, is it? All those candles like underground in
Yeah.
a room with no windows and only one escape. Outside his room, there's all those pipes in the ceiling. They're probably running like flammable gases.
Oh, God,
and all that
yes.
sort of
Yeah.
stuff
The amount of
through
crap
there.
they'd be pumping
Oh, yeah.
into that whole facility. Yeah.
Yeah.
Smoke detectors would have picked those candles up.
But yeah, he tends to almost commune with his symbiote while he Kelno Reams, which actually is kind of fun because it does come back in a season 4 episode.
I didn't mind it, but it just seemed like the most sort of convenient thing just to throw something else in there, because up until this point, it's not like we can ever think back and go, oh, yeah, there was that time that, he got sick and said that he could take care of himself, and that was never explained until now. It was just like, oh, yeah, by the way, sometimes I get really, really sick that my symbiote, while I'm, awake and conscious, I can, I can't fix it. So I have to go into a really deep meditation.
It's interesting the way that we finally get a little bit more character development on Teal'c is to have him be played by Richard Dean Anderson and
Yeah.
put him in a different body. And they're like, just lock him in a room together and let him meditate. I don't know, whatever. And and then we actually get a bit more about Teal'c.
And I know last week you were talking, Brendan, about the idea of transferring Apophyse's Gould to like a death row inmate or something. Someone like basically a free vessel, soon to be free vessel. I found that about this piece of technology, like. If we were to apply it in a real world situation, like they bring back medicines and all these other great technologies that they and minerals and whatnot that they're trying to bring back from alien planets, this could be used for that sort of purpose. Like you get a terminally ill patient swapping bodies with someone on death row. Like
Fair
someone's
call.
going to die anyway, and you give them a new body. Okay, their family and friends are going to have to get used to a new face to look at and love and all that sort of stuff. Or presidents and things like that. Like we see other sci-fi movies where presidents have clones or doubles and things like that, where you could just transfer someone's consciousness into another body. And I want to say that that's another technology we can add to the room in Area 51 that we never address
Never
again.
touches again.
Whereas I feel like it could be something they could bring back in 2 or 3 seasons to mess around with an enemy or something like that. Infiltrate someone. Imagine if they temporarily did that. Like if they captured a system lord, send O'Neill into his body, and then keep O'Neill locked up on the base. Send back the system lord to infiltrate his own base. No one's any the wiser.
Just hit the self-destruct.
Yeah, something like that.
Hammond will go for that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I volunteer as tribute.
Oh, here's an interesting theory, just because that's never occurred to me before. Like all these cool pieces of technology we normally lose. Like we had the sarcophagus, we lost it in Hathor and again in Need. But yeah, obviously we still have this sort of tech lying around somewhere. But if one of us and say Apophis touch that thing at the same time, would you just then
Swap with the host.
swap with the host, or would you swap the Gould? I wonder.
I was thinking that.
Oh yeah.
Or would Michello have made it so the Gould couldn't use that device?
Yeah.
I mean, it affected Teal'c, but I don't know whether it affected Gould or not.
That's true.
Something I thought interesting, though, is how the hell do they get it back to the base? So they go to move it at Michello's place, and they get turned, and they take their hands off.
Oh,
it.
they just pick it up by the base this time.
Well,
not by
because
the handles.
if they touch it again, it didn't matter. So
Yeah, but
they
they didn't know that
They
until
didn't
they
know
got
that
back.
until Sam started running tests. She's like, maybe there's an in and out. Maybe there's a reverse grip and a cowgirl and a whatever.
I felt like I was asking the same questions,
Because
but
they loaded it onto the Malp, got it through the gate,
Yeah.
and then somehow managed to get it from there into Carter's lab, up on one of those little silver wheelie trolleys.
yeah.
So I'm like,
I was just immediately laughing at the fact that, like, she's like, "Oh, just touch it again." Okay, it didn't happen. Oh, maybe the in and the out. Okay, do that. Oh, it didn't work. And then she's like, "Nah, maybe it's in the order that you touch it." And even like O'Neill, the least scientific
gonna
bloke
be
on the
long,
base,
dude.
he's even looking at her going, "Look, I'm an idiot, and even I know that it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Like we are wasting time
It'd be funny
already."
if it turns out later that there's just 2 airmen that swap bodies and no one ever noticed.
We can't tell anyone. They'll find out that we've been in here.
Walter
playing-
really is General Hammond.
Don't tell anyone, son.
No, he's actually inside poor man Sarah Silverman's body. So he's still at his station, just incognito.
But following on from that, when Michello says, "I'll swap you info for my
body.
freedom,"
So yeah, let me keep my Shanksy body and go out and bang bitches.
Again,
and then
get a death row.
but
Someone.
Yeah.
yeah, but would they let Jackson go for that?
Absolutely not.
Well, I get it for the show, but I'm talking about the real military.
Well, I mean,
And then because Hammond, I love it when Hammond goes, maybe on your planet, mate, but the value of a life on Earth is priceless. I'm like, oh, that'll do me.
The value to Hammond is priceless. Because,
Except that bloke you ran over a couple of weeks ago.
yeah. You know, the value of Shanksy to Donis Davis is, valuable, given that Shanksy's, got a higher up credit than he does.
Yeah.
Credits. But yeah, I feel like if, Mayborn or someone like that was in charge of the program, you better believe that Michello's out in the world, just,
shit, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
just...
Or Mayborn was in Daniel's place, and he's like, well, we could let Mayborn die, and we could have the info. Yeah, do it.
oh yeah,
it's fine. It's fine.
O'Neill's looking towards Hammond going, how many times can I vote yes?
Yeah.
Do you reckon Michael Shanks had to audition for that part? Do you reckon they auditioned old people and went, oh, no one's quite there yet. I don't know what's going on. Shanks is like,
I'll do it.
I'm a bit bored. Put me in some old people makeup.
Yeah, they got turned off by the uncle from Touchstone. They're like, let's not get another old bloke for a little while.
He's like,
because that guy
look,
pissed us off.
Can we at least put a shirt on him?
He's like, I've got a newborn baby at home, so I'm quite happy to come into work early and sit through
Yeah.
5 hours.
Let's play 2 roles.
Shit,
Yeah, and
Good
just
call.
really clock in some time.
Absolutely.
Save a bit of production costs in the casting.
Now, I do have a bit of trivia that if we want to touch base and just find out what's been happening.
Across the universe.
I love this.
Brendan
segment.
loves this segment.
I do.
Yeah,
love
I think because he's the only one besides me that'll get it.
Plus, I love the intro. I really
I'll listen
do.
back to it in a few years.
But it's not an exact science, but it's around about this time, Brendan, that Joe Spencer's wife tells him to stop telling stories
About
and to start writing them down.
nice.
And that's what's been happening.
Across the universe.
Yeah, good call.
I do get that reference.
Oh, you do?
I do get that reference.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, buddy.
Very happy with that.
Nice. So apparently, a large amount of backstory for Michello was detailed in the Stargate SG-1 role-playing game.
That was the same one that I spoke about a few weeks ago. That the
Yeah, the
reference
Dungeons and
that
Dragons.
the
thing.
touchstone is potentially
Furling.
furling technology.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Hang on, there's a game?
Oh, it's like a Dungeons and Dragons thing.
Like a
Yeah, right.
role-playing game.
Well, I know what I'm doing for my 30th.
Apparently, this backstory reveals that the Gwywold system lord that destroyed his world was Ares. Ares later plays a role in an episode, It's Good to Be King,
I just can't
where O'Neill battles him.
Until we came back to sort of redo all these and rewatch them, there was something in the back of my head that always thought that the quantum mirror was one of Michello's inventions for some reason. Not to give anything away for Rhys, but obviously Michello has died, but we've got access to his entire, cache of random technology. So it does come back in a later season. We sort of start fiddling around with some of his tech. But
Gotta work out how to use it.
Yeah, so I just
Yeah,
love like when
without
I was
getting-
swapping the bodies, and he's like, "If only I had time to, translate my writings for you." Carter's like, "Yeah, we'll get to it, mate. I'll sort it out. Can you fucking swap bodies already?"
Yeah.
Just don't die yet. Just
Yeah.
wait.
It's a simple key of 3 digits. We don't have time.
We don't have time.
Just- he knows that. That's why he's stalling.
Yeah.
If he dies before I change.
I did a little random bit of information. It's on Wikipedia, so take that with a grain of salt on how accurate it is.
Yeah, I probably wrote it.
But it says Holiday gained a 4.2 rating on the Nielsen's ratings, making it Stargate SG-1's strongest episode in its 10-season run.
What do you mean
Wow.
strongest? So like,
Well, I didn't
like
write it.
no.
I'm just
When you say
reading what's
ratings,
here.
like, is that
The whole
Highest
thing.
view.
highest views or like, like?
I'm assuming, 4.2 rating must mean its strongest episode in terms of it's garnered the highest amount of ratings.
wow.
For last episode Serpent Song, I googled something on YouTube, and it was basically like next week. on SG1,
Mm.
and it basically goes through the whole episode. So if they did something similar then, and you're seeing Jack as Teal'c and Teal'c as Jack, and everyone, you'd be like, oh, I'm watching that. That looks fun. That looks like a real... So I'm not entirely surprised that got... But for the whole season...
That's
I don't
crazy.
The
know.
whole series.
The whole series.
The whole 10 series.
years.
This
Oh my
is-
god!
Yeah.
Nah, absolutely not.
Well, it's obviously not the most popular, but potentially this was when the show had its highest saturation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A lot of, like, when you're on Wikipedia, a lot of time you can find, like, it'll have the episode list and then show you, like, at the end of the little graph what the Nielsen rating was for each episode. But it doesn't have it for this, so I can't sort of cross-reference it with anything. But...
Well, it was a good episode. Like, a brave in a way, they were telling such a serious story. Like, body swap, Daniel's dying. You got this other guy. Is he going to be a bad guy? Is he like Destroyer of Worlds type? Where we
Yeah.
brought him back as an ally, in a way. We brought him back unknowingly, but still.
especially because
he's
you
out in the
don't know
world.
if he's mental or not.
Yeah, exactly. Because the way that he was acting beforehand, he's like, is that his ailing body, or is
Yeah.
that really where his mind is
I am
at?
Daniel Jackson. I am Daniel Jackson. It's like, whoa.
Yeah, Michello was, like, playing that card from the start.
Yeah,
He was like,
yeah.
Chick, black guy, old guy, hot guy. Yep, I'll take him.
Well, I'm going for the wavy hair. Oh, yeah.
It looks like we have identical bone structure. Whereas him, I'll take that guy.
But to then go to that scene where they're all in their, hazmat suits and shit, and then Teal'c and O'Neill swap bodies, and instantly half the episode is a comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you go back and forth, and it's seamless. It really is. Like, you can completely buy into the fact, oh shit, Daniel may or may not be dying. Obviously, we know he's going to pull through, but still, like, in the heat of the episode, you're buying into that. Old mate's out there. He's, he might not ever be found. He might continue walking around with his new mate Fred, eating ice cream and hamburgers and enjoying friendship.
Yeah.
But then you're laughing at these two guys, having a bit of fun, back in the base, trying to work out, each other's bodies and things like that. So I thought it was a really weird sort of mix, but it works so seamlessly. It's like this show
Yeah.
at its best.
Yeah, and I love where you do get that funny, oh, we will feast on me. But then you go, Fred goes, oh, were you in the war? And he's like, yeah. And it gets really serious. He's like, basically, Earth, all of you people would be dead if it wasn't for me.
Yeah.
And it's like, whoa. Obviously, Earth was lost to the Goa'uld, so we'd be okay. But
Yeah.
for everyone else, probably.
And did he say that his planet, or we learned that his planet died because they wouldn't give him up?
Yeah, they sacrificed themselves for
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
2 billion
Yeah,
people.
because Teal'c mentions, like, he was taught that face from a very young age. Like,
Yeah.
he says, he's
That's
Michello's like
That's
the
why
the ace of spades on the deck of Most Wanted.
Yeah.
Which
By
is
the
a weird.
Goa'uld.
Then when he has that conversation with Hammond after he said, "Well, I'm staying here. Can I get better accommodation?" And he's like, "I can give you information. Just give me, a new host or whatever,
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh no, as long as I can keep this body." They're like, "No, we want our friend back." He's like, "You would sacrifice your whole world just to save one person." It's like, well, that's what can happen to you, mate. Obviously,
Yeah.
you're living in regret. But then Hammond's like, "Well, yeah, no, here we respect life. We appreciate it. So yeah, that's what we do, and that's what we're gonna do." So
Yeah.
yeah,
He
very
did
cool.
say
episode.
he did say something really weird in the diner though.
All good things come to an end, Michello.
Oh no, my friend. Only evil things must come to an end.
Creepy.
For good things, such as ourselves, it is possible to go on forever.
Cool.
Like he's getting all philosophical, and Fred's just like, I just want to eat some fucking ice cream,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
I've
Was
eaten
it just
for a
me,
week.
or was anyone else really annoyed that there was ice cream on his face? And I was really happy when he wiped it off.
Yeah.
I'm just
I was
like,
like, come on, man.
I can't concentrate on what you're
Oh,
saying,
It's
man.
a pet
Alien,
peeve of
not
mine, man.
Yeah.
I feel like I can feel it when someone's got food on their face, and I sit there and I lick it it's on my lip, and I'm like,
Yeah, I mean, Michello's got a beard. He knows how to, keep a clean workspace. He knows what's going on.
The only other thing that I was going to mention is that even though for it's only a short time, Christopher Judge and Michael Shanks become the third and fourth actors to play Colonel Jack O'Neill,
I
following
read that,
from
yeah.
Kurt Russell and Rick Dean.
yeah, right.
It's pretty funny.
I forgot about that too. Even that he just that very, very quick turn, and I like their exchange actually. Like even in the sort of immediacy that is their body swap, they don't even take the time to go, "Oh, well, you're me and I'm you," and
Yeah.
that sort of stuff. It's just
Yeah.
like, "Danny boy," and he's like, "Jack," and he comes over and like again Richard Dean Anderson, like wide-eyed, like Daniel would be,
Yeah.
but sheepish coming over, and
And the way he was standing as well.
Yeah.
Like with his
Yeah, with
arms
the
folded,
arms,
yeah.
Jackson's stance.
I
That was
almost-
sweet.
I kind of wish maybe that the director, who was the director for this one, David Warry Smith, I kind of wish he'd I don't know if he did or not, like got them to do a run through as their actual
Yeah.
selves, and then did it for shooting, so you could actually
Mimic.
the actor could study the person they're mimicking.
Yeah.
It felt
and
that
take
pitch perfect.
some-
Even like
Yeah.
I was when I was watching this, I actually did turn away at times in those body swap scenes and just listen to the dialogue.
You're
and I'm
doing
like,
ironing,
that's
weren't you?
Mate, I haven't ironed it about a year, so don't worry about that. And I'm listening to the dialogue. I'm like, that's how Richard Dean Anderson would deliver that line, or that's how Teal'c would deliver that line. Like they either did do a run through, or they just know each other that well. And I can imagine the fun on set, obviously through what we've already seen, but even just the bits where it's like, okay, I'm going to do whatever Daniel would do or whatever, and just to take it too far, that would be. Oh, get fucked! I don't do that. Come on, they're all in on the joke, No, make him do this. Make him do this. He always sticks his hands down his pants. He's got something else going on.
Another sci-fi series, Farscape, did do an episode similar to like the body swap episode, and I feel like it was very much like that as well. Just over exaggerate, and that's Claudia Black and Ben Browder. Obviously joined Stargate later on. And I feel like that episode was very much taking the piss out of mates, but harder in a way because part of their regular cast was a puppet. So at one point they had to swap bodies with a puppet and pretend they were this puppet character in their bodies. It was absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's a good sci-fi
And
trope, I
also
love
the
it.
puppet, who does the voiceover wasn't there, so they had to. I don't know how they would have done it to act
it's
like
bizarre.
the puppet.
Very bizarre.
Cool episode.
Star Trek Voyager do a good one as well.
Hey, don't.
Couldn't help it.
Well, I feel
Brendan's
like
seen
could.
it. It's a good episode.
Which one?
Am I gonna get it? Am I gonna get a that's two if I say
Yep.
it?
Of course you are.
He's
Okay.
What do you
baiting
think I
you.
set that up
Baiting
for?
you.
I'm not interested.
Body and Soul 7 of 9, episode 7, season 7.
Oh,
I've done them out.
7 and 9 is smoking hot.
Oh, geez, tell me something nobody knows.
Oh, Jesus, sorry, mate. Just give it to people. All right, it's that time of the week again.
Oh, it's time to find out if Rhys has been paying attention.
So
It's getting better and better every week. That
Absolutely,
bloody
it's
song.
like a bloody.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
we're rehearsing every day for 3 hours. I want to be good.
With a pitch pipe.
So for
Top
new-
1,000 on iTunes.
For new listeners, we got a segment here where basically we're trying to take the piss out of Rhys. Check if he's paying attention.
Is that what this is all about?
Oh, well.
I thought it was legitimate, like just
Helping you.
asking him,
helping
asking
him.
him questions that are going to help him
Fanboys.
as the season goes along. Just remembering important information.
You weren't meant
For the-
to hear that, so
and-
pretend you didn't.
For the international viewers, taking the piss means paying out or...
No, it means urinating on your face.
Take it. Take it.
So, all right. So you got 5 questions. This is the quiz we're doing. You've got
Let's do
five questions, 30 seconds on the clock.
How many questions?
I think it's 5. And
Seems like a lot.
That's called taking the piss.
4. Hang on. 5. Yep, 5.
Now, have you pre-read them this
Yeah,
week?
yeah.
You're not going to have
I
any
did,
any
but
issues?
stuff
That
or-
was several hours ago, so we'll see what happens. Your time starts at the end of the first question, and if you don't know it, then you get it wrong.
Yeah,
There's no passing anymore.
if I don't
Change
know,
the
if
rules.
I don't know it, why would I pass?
No,
If I
you
don't
can
know.
pass and come back to it. Come on.
Mate,
if
that
I'm
was
quick
you
en-
that said,
Hey,
why are we doing that?
If I'm quick enough in answering, mate, that's my tactics. Don't change it up. It's not like I'm winning every week.
Let's just do all the things that you want to do.
Yeah.
All right.
You just concentrate on reading those bloody questions properly, mate.
All right.
Time to find out if Brendan's
So
doing
basically,
attention to
these
his own
questions are a lot of last week's episode, the Serpent Song. So
Ooh.
make sure you have been paying attention.
That's increasing
wrong.
the difficulty level a little bit. You know.
All right. At the start of Serpent Song, what direction does Jack go through the Stargate?
Backwards.
Correct. What was the name of the Goa'uld hunting Apophis?
Oh, the bloody car.
Correct. What did Hammond say when introduced to Apophis?
We've met.
Correct. Based on the Earth mythology, Sokar.
God of Death.
Yeah, I'll accept
Ask the
that.
question.
Making his debut on Who Directed Serpent Song?
Oh. Jonathan Glasner.
Sorry. You idiot.
He's only like the show creator. Peter DeLuise, mate. Dom DeLuise's son.
Like,
God,
Maddie,
damn,
if Maddie
so
hasn't said
close.
his name 20 times, I don't know where.
I know his
you've
name,
been.
man. I just didn't know he directed this shit.
He was in 21 Jump Street and the remake. Not that helps, but
Not at all. It doesn't at all.
he and
Johnny Depp was in the remake
And
too.
he's
right?
Yeah,
also-
well, that's it. He and Johnny Depp have that little thing at the end because they
Right.
were the original.
He's
Oh,
also
I don't know.
in episode 200 of SG1. I don't know if you've seen that.
Oh no, not yet.
He's,
I'll get back to you on that one.
he's also in a little episode called Show and Tell.
Yeah.
Rhys, your father made you wrong.
You thought you were going to get away with it.
I don't know why I get so upset when I don't get 5.
But you got 4.
Frustrates
And the
me.
reason I stopped asking the question was because I was deliberating on whether you answered it correctly, which you
Well,
did.
that's not your job, mate.
Well, of course it is, you f***head.
He's a quizmaster, buddy.
I'm like the gamekeeper, buddy.
Oh yeah, you are, mate. Everyone hates you.
You stupid son of a bitch.
Oh, righty then. That is episode 39 of Get Into Gate Holiday.
I need to go to the toilet.
He needs to go take
you,
the
mate.
piss.
Yeah.
I need to take the piss out of myself.
All right, find us on SoundCloud and iTunes. Drop us a line, getitogate@gmail.com, or on the socials, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I'm Mitch_Lewis, Twitter and Instagram. Matty.
At High Pitch Maddie on Instagram.
Brendan.
At the Brendan Gibson on Instagram.
And Rhys, when you're not taking the piss, you are
At the Flying Gibson.
Until next week, we are talking One False Step.
Is that a song?
No, it's not, but
Absolutely
God
it
damn it,
is.
I'm going to make one.
See, if you thought about step by
step. Ooh, baby.
Killing it.
Or
guys.
it is about a plant, so it could be Feed Me More.
It's a bit of a stretch. What do you think?
Yeah.
GetIntoGeek.com.
I feel that
Biznatch.
as the old Marcello, he could have been a little more Daniel Jackson. Didn't you know what I mean? Like his manner. Obviously, it was
He was
Michael Shanks.
half dead, mate.
Yeah, but you know. Okay, fair enough.
No, good point. I never
Wow.
thought about
That
that.
is
Even though he's hooked up to all those
I
fucking
just couldn't be
machines.
bothered talking anymore
That is
about it. Like seriously.
That is the quickest I've ever seen Brendan give up on
Yeah.
anything.
Oh, you haven't seen him at a Friday night back in the day when he was single. Hey, lover.
Right then, let's go. Let's do it.